Hello and welcome to Big Brothers, Big Sisters TV, our inaugural cast. We're excited to have you here. I'm your host, Rod Jacobs, and welcome. Together, we will hear and share stories of potential. Each episode, we'll chat with our community of volunteers, donors, partners, and staff in our website chat segment. You will hear stories of gratitude, community activities, and inspirational messages. You'll hear from our executive director in our Jen's Take segment, sharing impact, intrigue, innovation, and interpersonal revelations. Why are we launching today? Well, today is a very special day. The reason we are launching today is it's Giving Tuesday now. What is Giving Tuesday now? Well, Giving Tuesday typically happens the first Tuesday after Thanksgiving. And in Giving Tuesday now, the point is that we want to share the successes and the stories of nonprofits and individuals that are dealing with certain issues at this time. It's all about So on Giving Tuesday now, together we give. So we want your support. We're looking for your support in many different ways. We want you to check out our website at www.bigbrothersbigsisterswashtenaw.org. That's BBBS washtenaw.org/give, or on our social media page at BBBS Washtenaw. And you'll be able to find all those great things on our website. But today, what we want to do with you today is have a chat, have a discussion about some of the things that are going on in our reality. So first, I want to welcome to the show our executive director, Jennifer Spitler. So welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, Rod.
Also, I want to welcome our mentoring manager, Amanda Bitsoli. Welcome, Amanda.
Hello, Rod. Thanks for having us on today.
Well, ladies, we are in a difficult time. This whole crisis, this COVID-19 crisis, has been weighing on a lot of people. Jen, you've been the executive director for 17 plus years. You've seen a lot going on. Have you ever seen something like this?
No. I don't think has been anything like this for most of us that are alive today. There's been times that have been a struggle. I've been with Big Brothers, Big Sisters through the recession in the late 2000s, as well as we became an independent organization a couple of years before that. And, there were a lot of challenges during those times to keep the organization going. But this impacts our work and our community in ways that nothing ever has. It's interesting. I use that word a lot. I think interesting means that I'm open. Right? I'm open to what's going on and trying to figure out the best way to manage it. But there's nothing that prepares you to lead an organization during a time like this.
So, Amanda, in a time like this, dealing with over 300 plus matches and countless others on our waiting list, what and how did your team assess the needs of the matches?
Thank you for asking about that, Rod. I think in our organization, we are a program that really prides ourselves on focusing on relationships. And within those relationships, it's very important for us that folks' basic needs are being met and that the children in our program are safe. And so when reaching out to some of the folks in our program, those were some of the first things that we looked at addressing. And we were very grateful to work with other organizations to figure out what kind of questions to ask to people, because as Jen mentioned, this isn't a situation that necessarily we had all the tools already existing to get us through. Some of the tools we had to create as we go. And so being able to reach out to folks and using the team, we were able to complete over 250 check-ins with folks. And I think that one of the things that became apparent to us that people were not only grateful that we were checking in about kind of some of those basic needs and safety needs, but just grateful to hear from someone, to check in, to say, hey, how are you doing and how are you holding up? And I think that one of the things that really sticks with me is that during those phone calls when we're checking in, folks were asking us how we were doing and how we were holding up. And that I think definitely means a lot and circles back to relationships being very key in our program.
Now, speaking of relationships, Big Brothers Big Sisters prides itself for mentoring relationships. So, Jen, how did relationships have to evolve in this time?
That's an ongoing story, Rod. I think that the first thing that we did was we reached out or took advice and tools from other Big Brothers Big Sisters organizations. The relationships that we have with our affiliates allowed us to create virtual activities and resources for families, both local resources, but then also national resources. Of ways to connect, whether you're using Zoom or whether you're using Facebook or FaceTime chats, or what kind of things you could do, take virtual tours in museums and do activities together. Well, play video games. I know that lots of our bigs and littles are connecting through doing online video games, which is probably not something that they had necessarily done before. And so just being open to all of the things that are going on and using the resources and our relationships with other folks to help guide our work, I think has been really important.
And I totally agree 100%. And, you know, having seen and witnessed some of the bigs that have been getting involved with us during this time has been very important. So, Amanda, how can people get involved? Our doors aren't shut. We still are doing a lot of great work. But those that are listening out there, how can they get involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters?
That's such an amazing question, Rod. And I think that one of the things that is just important to highlight again is how important relationships and connections are. So folks that are not already associated with Big Brothers Big Sisters, stay connected with us and learn more about how to become a volunteer in our program and how to be a mentor to a local child in our community, especially knowing that we're all really going to need to focus on staying connected as we get through this pandemic. And I would also say for folks, definitely check out, like Rod had said, our social media and our website and stay connected in terms of ways to give or contribute financially so that we can keep some of these great matches going and keep enrolling volunteers who are excited to connect and begin a mentoring relationship with a child.
And finally, Jen, you know, I get to see this all the time. I get to see the great people behind the scenes in terms of our staff really doing some good work, especially in this time. Share your feelings about you know, that's the staff and what they've been able to accomplish at this time.
Well, I think they've just pivoted well, jumped right in, done the things that we needed, not only to assess child safety, but check in with families. You know, we talk about our BBBS family. You know, you give a donation, you become a volunteer, you become a part of the BBBS family. And so we've really connected a lot with our family of supporters, not only our program staff checking with our bigs and littles, but also the development staff, yourself and Danny and Anne-Marie and I checking in with our donors and other agencies and community folks, and just making sure that we are bringing to light all of the things that are going on out there that will help support the families that we serve.
Beautiful. Well said. And I want you ladies to stick around. We've got you coming up just a little bit in just a second. So thank you very much for sharing that great information. And we'll have Jen and Amanda join us shortly here in just a few minutes. But it's time for our next segment. Our next segment is gratitude. And I want to welcome our partnership coordinator, Gabby O'Connell. Thanks for joining us, Gabby.
Thanks, Rod. Hey, everyone.
So Gabby does some great work in terms of developing partnerships and some of the great things that are going on. But in this time, you know, she's been very instrumental in making sure that the needs of our littles and their families are taken care of. And Gabby, why don't you share some of that gratitude that you have for some of the things that you've been doing?
Yeah, I know times are definitely crazy right now with everything going on in the world around us. And I think it just really shows us how thankful and grateful we are to others. Today and every day the last few weeks, I personally and our BBBS at Washtenaw County Little Family has just been so grateful for Community Action Network at Bryant Community Center for helping us out. Big Brothers Big Sisters has been providing resources and information to families that we serve to best serve their needs, especially their needs surrounding COVID and the health pandemic. In addition to providing these resources, we are delivering food and supplies to families who either have had a loss of income, don't have access to transportation, have pre-existing health conditions, and maybe can't leave their house, or are just experiencing the same level of change and stress that we all are right now. We definitely could not do what we are doing with all these food deliveries without the help of the staff and volunteers at Bryant Community Center. They've just been so kind and accommodating and are working their hardest to help us get food out to all of our families in need. I actually met Skylar, their director at Bryant Community Center, back in January, just at a campus event. And now, a few months later, things have kind of come full circle, and now we have a really strong relationship with Community Action Network and Bryant Community Center. And we're just so appreciative of the partnership we have with them, and just want to give a huge thank you to everyone at Bryant for the work they're doing. We appreciate them more than they know.
And I've had personal interactions with them, which has been great. And I shared this with you offline, that every time I go there, there's a gentleman that I won't recognize him if I see him without a mask. I only know him as Alex. And when I see him, I give him a wave. He gives me a wave. They just do an amazing job there. So thank you very much, Gabby. We really appreciate you sharing that gratitude and all the work that you're doing for the families in Washtenaw County. Well, so now we're going to go to a segment called Hidden Gems. And hidden gems are about different resources, different activities that we might take for granted or we might not know actually exist here in Washtenaw County. And joining me back from her little break, please welcome Amanda, our mentoring manager. Amanda, tell us about some hidden gems that you've come up with.
So, Rod, I think that this has been, Jen used the word pivot. It's been a great example for us to be able to adjust to living in a virtual world. And so I am super excited for our first virtual group event to be coming up this Saturday. It is going to be the first of very many opportunities for bigs and littles to continue to get together and build relationships. Our staff has been practicing using different virtual platforms, and so we're excited to be having a yoga group event this Saturday for bigs and littles, and I know that this will be the first of many group events that we'll be able to do. We're really excited to be looking ahead at future events, and hopefully going to be able to include some littles and helping plan some events. And I think that that's really important because it really helps us to connect on things that we're passionate about. So I'm really looking forward to getting to have that connection with some folks this weekend. So more information will be coming out to our bigs regarding that.
Perfect. I have not done yoga And so I might have to sign on and see how we do virtual yoga for my first experience. So thank you, Amanda, for sharing those hidden gems. And we look forward to getting more information about what's happening in Washtenaw County that can support our matches and families, especially during this time in COVID-19 crisis. So thanks for joining.
Thank you, Rod.
So our next segment is Jen's Take. And Jen's Take is all about us connecting with our executive director and her sharing with us some of the things that are going on in the world according to her and what she's seen as the executive director. She's been around for 17 years, and you've seen this organization go through so much over such a almost 20-year span that at this time it's got to be hard.
It is. It really is. Jen's take. Where do you start with Jen's take? I have a take every day. But I really, in thinking about this, have thought about just how hard it is. It's just hard. I don't know another word to describe it. I've seen, as optimistic as we are and we talk about our program, it's hard for our staff doing those needs assessments and hearing the fear in people's voices, not only about how they're going to get through this, in terms of food and resources and keeping education happening in their house, as well as some folks who have been affected by this personally. We've had some positive tests for some of our parents, and I know that they're worried, and that's hard on the staff to have those conversations. And I really appreciate the effort and energy that they put into connecting with those families and making sure that they know that we're here for them in whatever way we can be. I think it was also very hard in the beginning. It was so chaotic that it felt like we were creating a plan A and a plan B and a plan C for how we were going to work at home, how we were going to create virtual activities, what were we going to do with our fundraisers. It was a very hard decision that we made to not go on with our Rise and Shine event, which is something that we have done every year. And it was scheduled for later this month, which was partially why we decided to do this webcast, was so that we could connect with people in our community, which was something that the Rise and Shine event really allowed us to do, which was talk about not only our mission and the impact of the relationships, but also to raise dollars that allow us to keep making and supporting those matches. I think the hardest part for me has been to find the words. Each week I've been writing a piece in our email blasts about what the work that we're doing. And I have to sit with it. I have to sit with what are the words to use to convey strength and positivity, as well as explore the needs of our community, the needs of our kids, so that folks can hear those in a way that connects to them, but also keeps it really kind of real. And I pivot to glass half full. I'm my mother's daughter in so many ways. And I just turn to faith and hope and gratitude for not only our board that supports us, but our staff that's doing this work, the donors that have reached out and are already giving and supporting, and just our community partners. And so I have to be grateful. It's what fills me and allows me to keep doing this work and get up every day and not have the words, but somehow just find a way through.
Really appreciate those words, and I'm sure it's on everybody's mind. And each episode, we're gonna get into some of those things from your perspective and how they relate to our great organization, especially here in Washtenaw County. So thank you, Jen, for joining us for this for Jen's Takes.
Thanks for hosting us, Rod.
Our next and final episode is about leaving you with an inspirational message. And I want to bring back to the mix our good friend Gabby. Hi, Gabby.
Hello.
So, Gabby, as a final message to our listeners and our supporters and everybody that's tuning in and going to hear us, we wanted to end on a very positive note, something that can inspire us for our weeks and sometimes it feels like months at a time. So I'll turn it over to you and to share your inspirational quote.
Yeah, Robert Ingersoll said, "We rise by lifting others." And I just feel like that quote really resonates with everything going on in the world right now, and just feeling like we can overcome our own obstacles and hardships by helping and supporting others through theirs. So I'm very thankful for all of the work that BBBS has been doing and everyone else in the community for doing their part and stepping up to help others.
So I love the rising by lifting others, and I know we as a team get together and share some really positive things. So it's really important to have that kind of uplifting moment. So I really appreciate that. Thanks, Gabby.
Thank you, Rod.
So that's our final quote. I want to thank our special guests for joining us. Jennifer Spitler, Amanda Bitsoli, and Gabby O'Connell. It's a great staff that are doing some great work behind the scenes. And when we see our matches, they light up because of a lot of the wonderful things that are going on. But we want to make sure that we thank all of those supporters for tuning in, our donors, our volunteers, our board, and especially our staff. Don't forget to click that like button just down below and share everything that we do with your friends and family. You can also check out bbbswashtenaw.org/give or on our social media at BBBS Washtenaw. You can also find some amazing Giving Tuesday Now resources at now.givingtuesday.org with the hashtag Giving Tuesday Now. Some great stuff out there. Ways to get involved from a donation perspective, but also from just supporting healthcare workers. They've got a letter campaign that you can fill out and do that. Our next episode will be on Tuesday, May 19th. That's episode 2 of BBBS TV. We encourage you to join in. Mark that on your calendars. Add us in there. Stay safe. And remember, a clear vision is your roadmap to success. Have a great day, everybody.